Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to take a look at an online fashion store called Bennett and Claire.
Mm.
And we're working from a really sharp analysis by Hectra. That's a channel that, really gets into the weeds on e-commerce risk and supply chains.
Right.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Help you figure out how to spot the risks when you land on a store that looks amazing, but feels a little off.
And Bennett and Claire is a perfect case study for this.
It really is. I mean, you see it and the appeal is instant.
Yeah.
The clothes are trendy, elegant, the website looks super professional, clean layout, secure checkout.
And the prices, you can't forget the discounts.
Exactly, huge discounts. But that's the whole tension here, isn't it? If it all looks so good on the surface, what are the red flags that Hectra found that suggest something else is going on?
Well, the first big one Hector noticed is the company's online footprint, or I should say, the lack of one. Bennett and Claire, they seem pretty new, but the key thing is there's no real independent online presence. You've got their website, their social media pages,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Right?
Trying to find independent reviews or actual customer testimonials, it's almost impossible.
But hold on, every brand is new at some point, right? How can you tell if it's just a startup finding its footing versus something more, I don't know, risky?
That's a great question, and it really comes down to verification and just a lack of transparency. The problem isn't being new, it's the total absence of a track record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without independent reviews, you just can't confirm if anyone actually received their stuff or if the quality was anything like what was advertised. That kind of silence can actually be more of a warning than a bunch of bad reviews.
Ooh, that's silence. That makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about the more psychological side of things. Hectra brings up their marketing tactics.
Yes, the aggressive marketing.
Yeah, and you can see why it works. You see a 70% off tag, and, that little skeptical voice in your head just gets a lot quieter.
Absolutely. The source points out that these heavy discounting strategies, the limited time only or these massive markdowns, they're not really about a good deal. They're designed to create urgency.
To make you buy on impulse.
Exactly. They're trying to get you to click buy before you have that moment to step back and ask, wait, who even is this company?
And when you do try to look for that background info, that's where it gets really telling.
Oh, yeah. This is the big operational red flag. There's no clear, verifiable physical address, no phone number for support, no real business registration details.
So basically no way to contact them if something goes wrong.
Precisely. It's not just about bad customer service. It suggests there's no real accountability. I mean, if you can't find them, you have zero recourse. It is like the textbook definition of a fly-by-night setup.
Okay, so let's say you take the plunge anyway. You see the dress, you want the deal, you click buy. What are the typical outcomes people report from these kinds of retailers?
Well, the source material is pretty consistent on this. You're looking at, first, huge shipping delays. Not days, but weeks, sometimes even months.
Wow.
Then, if the item does show up, the quality is often terrible. Damaged, poor materials, nothing like the photos. And then trying to get a refund, or even just contact customer support. Forget it.
So it's a real gamble.
A huge one. And look, maybe some buyers get their order and it's fine. But with all these factors, the minimal reputation, the lack of transparency, the high-pressure marketing, Hectra's conclusion is that you should use extreme caution. You have to assume the risk is high.
So if you're feeling lucky and you decide that discount is worth the risk, are there any practical steps Hectra recommends to at least protect yourself?
Yes, absolutely. It's all about defense. First, only use a secure payment method that offers buyer protection, like a credit card, never a debit card.
Right, for the chargeback.
Exactly. The chargeback is your safety net. Keep a close eye on your order tracking. And if things start to feel wrong, if it's taking too long, if you get no communication, don't wait. Request a refund or initiate that chargeback immediately. You're basically telling your bank the transaction might be fraudulent.
So you're bypassing the non-existent customer service entirely.
You have to. So really, it brings us back to that bigger question,
Yeah.
When is a deal just too good to be true? What's the real cost of chasing that cheap, trendy fashion when you're dealing with these non-transparent stores?
It's a tough balance. How do you square that desire for affordable, stylish clothes with, the fundamental need for consumer protection and being able to trust who you're buying from? Something to think about the next time an ad with a massive can't-miss discount pops up from a store you've never heard of.